guys, this is my face. I'm not that beautiful, but let's just move on. We are going to be watching an animated story. Then we're going to be watching a Darman movie. Then I'm going to play back Tucker World. I was just taking a small break from Tucker World for a little time. For 2 days. It's just 2 days. So, and the Minecraft. I'm gonna do Minecraft also. As you can see, no one really voted who won, but I think other people will vote when the time comes. So yeah, I think it's time to get into the animated movie.
Dad, could you stop trying to control my life? I complained for the millionth time. Troy, I've already told you that you're too young for college. Now stop bothering me and go play with something in your room, my dad replied while walking away. Although I was only 14, I was done with practically everything on the high school syllabus. But yes, I was still in middle school and bored out of my mind. I lived alone with my dad and a few helpers in his mansion. He runs a very popular business, so we're rich. That means he buys me all the stuff I want. Before I continue, please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel.
Please
if you don't want to miss out on any amazing stories, make sure you hit that notification bell too.
Please remember to subscribe, like. Please go over to the animated stories and watch them. They're really nice. I've never watched this one, but this is why I'm watching it, and I'm going to be reacting to it. I like watching them. I watch a lot, so yeah, I watch them every single day. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, tell a friend to tell a friend. Click the subscribe, share, click the notification bell. Please do so. Thank you guys. Anyways, back to the movie.
I had an awesome bedroom with a secret room behind my bookshelf. Cliché, I know, but I still thought it was cool. In my secret room, I had a sort of lab where I conducted several weird experiments. Some I learned on YouTube, and others I found out about while reading academic papers. Sometimes I blew stuff up by accident, but sometimes everything went well. You can imagine that a nerdy person like myself was probably unpopular at school, and you're right. I had two close friends, George and Raymond, and we were all science nerds. It's why we got along really well. But like I said, I reached a point where I was bored with middle school life. I wanted to go to college and start working as a top researcher before I was 18. I begged my dad to let me go to college, but he figured I was too young. He always said, "We have so much money anyway. You don't even need to get a job when you leave high school. I don't know why you want to go to college so early. Just try to enjoy your childhood, for crying out loud." Then he'd hand me his credit card so I could go buy myself something to feel better. But I was still miserable. I couldn't concentrate in any of my boring middle school classes anymore. "Why don't you try to cheer up? You're depressing us," Raymond said to me one afternoon after a robotics club meeting. "I'm depressing you? Aren't you guys concerned that I'm just sick of being here? I'm bored out of my mind," I said. "I'm sure you haven't learned every single thing there is to know. Just find a new hobby or learn something new," George said. Then they both went silent for a few seconds. "Whoa, do you see Molly? She's gorgeous. Hypnotizing," Raymond said. "Hypnotizing? That's it. Hypnotizing," I squealed. "Yeah, I know, right? That skirt really brings out her figure," George said. "Would you guys
Now I see what all you guys are looking at.
stop objectifying women? Anyway, I have to go," I said and ran off. That was going to be my cure to this eternal boredom.
Why do you look like you have the devil's eye? Don't look at me like that.
Hypnosis. I used to think that hypnosis was a myth and that fake magicians just made it seem believable to trick stupid people and get more money. But I felt that even if this was so, I could find a way to do it for real. I asked my dad for his credit card that night, and I ordered every book I could find on the topic. Then I read as much as I could online. I read and watched many documentaries for weeks until I was finally ready to try what I had learned. But who would be my first victim? As you would assume, it was very difficult for Raymond, George, and me to get girlfriends. The girls we were interested in would never give us a second look. So this gave me a bright idea.
What are you
Hey
gonna
guys,
do?
remember that girl Molly that you all were obsessing over the other day? I said. Yeah, what happened? Raymond asked. She's gonna be my girlfriend by the end of the week. Just wait and see, I said. They both laughed. I walked away, and at lunchtime, I decided to approach Molly. She was sitting with all her friends. You know, the most popular girls at school who felt like they were too good to talk to anyone but guys who played gross sports like football.
I'm not popular at school. But I only have 3 friends at school. 3. And that's enough.
Hi there, I'm Troy. What's your name? I said. Molly and all her friends burst out laughing. Then
Obviously, they're gonna laugh.
I gazed into her eyes and whispered my secret words. Words I memorized. Words which were sure to get me whatever I wanted. She looked frozen for a while and stared into space. Then she looked at me and smiled. I'm Molly. I'm so happy to meet you. I've been meaning to talk to you for a
This
while,
worked?
but I just never had the courage,
It
she
worked.
said. I was shocked. I mean, I studied a long time to get this result, but I wasn't really sure if I'd be successful. Her friends looked equally shocked. Come, let's go for a walk, she said while hooking her arm with mine. We spent a lot of time together the next few days. She was cute, but she wasn't that interesting. Still, I decided to keep her around because it made me feel important. By the end of the week, she really was my girlfriend. Whoa, how on earth did you pull that off? Raymond asked one afternoon. It's my secret, I replied. Well, why don't you help us out too? He said. Well, I may be a boring old nerd, but I'm a good friend. So by the end of the next week, I had hypnotized Molly's 2 closest friends, Gina and Ella, into being my friends' girlfriends. Now, do you know what happens when you and your best friends are dating the most popular girls at school? You become extremely popular too. All the other girls who looked up to Molly and her clique decided that nerdy guys were trendy now. They all wanted one. Then all the jocks started questioning themselves, wondering what they were doing wrong and why no one was interested in them anymore. It was hilarious. But do you know what else? Instead of being ourselves, we started doing things that the popular kids usually did. We started skipping classes, which obviously wouldn't have been an issue for us because we were already 10 times smarter than our teachers anyway. But one day, all 3 of us were caught, and we were sent to the principal's office. I'm very shocked that 3 young men of your exceptional character would get caught breaking the school rules. I didn't think you were capable, to be honest, Mr. Avery said in his monotonous, boring old man voice. Well, your school is boring as hell, so what did you expect us to do? I replied. Raymond and George looked at me like I'd just killed someone. I beg your pardon? Mr. Avery screamed. Then I knew exactly what I had to do. I gazed into his eyes, walked closer to his desk, and whispered my secret words. He stared into space, then said, My, that is an excellent idea. I don't know why I hadn't thought of it sooner. You should take over the school, Troy. You'd make an excellent leader. Please, come to our faculty meeting tomorrow, he smiled. Raymond and George looked confused. It was hilarious. Why are you 3 in my office again? Please, take the rest of the day off, he said. We walked out of the office and sat on the bench outside.
My principal would never.
What did you do? George asked. Well, I've been learning hypnosis. Do you think you really got a girlfriend because you're good looking? I laughed. You're such a dimwit. You have the ability to control everything now, and all you did was find us girlfriends? Let's transform this school into a party house, Raymond said with the excitement of a 3-year-old child in a bouncy castle. I didn't want to bite off more than I could chew. Well, I suppose we could change this place around, I guess. Will you help me? I asked. Sure, they both replied at the same time. The next day, I went to the faculty meeting Mr. Avery had invited me to. I sat next to him in front of all the teachers who looked a bit confused. Hello, everyone. I brought Troy to this meeting because I have an exciting announcement. He is now in charge of this school. I am stepping down and allowing this more competent leader to take over, he said. Some people around while others laughed because they thought it was a joke. How can he be in charge? He's just a kid, my math teacher, Mr. Rowland, said. Why are you playing jokes? It's not even April. I don't have time for this, another teacher said. Before the end of that meeting, I ensured that every single teacher looked up to and worshipped me. I fired the ones I didn't like and changed all of the subjects around. I removed all the subjects I didn't like history and world literature. Of course, PE was wiped from the curriculum and all sports were canceled. I wanted to make the jocks suffer a little more. We now had fun subjects like video game development, party planning, bartending, fashion design, and countless others. I always wanted to learn the xylophone, so I started a class just for that, too. Do you know what else I've done to improve this place? I said while standing on a table in the cafeteria surrounded by students. What? They all screamed. There will be no more tests or homework, I said. Everyone screamed and danced. So, how will we be graded then?
I'm so jealous. So jealous.
A cute little girl asked. Projects. So, the party planning class will have to plan the biggest party ever. And if it's a success, everyone gets an A, I said. Can you change the food in here too? It's awful, somebody said. I got right to it and hypnotized the school's cooks so that they only made junk food. I also got funding for 5 ice cream machines and vending machines, which people didn't have to put money into. The snacks were free. You're amazing, Molly said to me one afternoon while we were taking a stroll after school. Well, what makes you say that? I said, wanting to be flattered. You made our school so much fun, and you've made my life so wonderful. She blushed. Would you like to come over to my house to watch a movie? I asked, hoping I'd get my first kiss that afternoon. Sure, she said. We walked to my house because it wasn't far away. When we got there, no one was home, so we went to the living room and I got us some snacks. I could tell that she was impressed by my big house. Want to go to my room? I said after a while. Okay, she said. We sat on my bed talking for a while, and just as I was about to kiss her, my door flung open. What is a girl doing in your room? We have rules against this, my dad yelled. Damn, I forgot, I said. Since when do you use that kind of language? He continued yelling. I got up, stared into his eyes, and tried to hypnotize him. I'd never tried that on my father before. I was about to whisper my secret words. Then, suddenly, Molly shrieked. So that's how you do it. You're hypnotizing people. I'm going to tell. She ran out of my house so quickly I couldn't catch up to her. I continued trying to hypnotize my dad to make him believe that there was never a girl in my room in the first place. It worked, but I was still nervous. I had to find Molly before she blew my cover. The next day, I skipped school and tried to figure out a way to get out of this situation. I could always re-hypnotize Molly, if that even was a word, but I'd have to find her first. As I was completely lost in my thoughts, I thought that the sirens I heard were all in my head. But then, I looked outside, and there were actually 3 police cars parked outside. 6 policemen stepped outside and knocked on the door. I went downstairs to see what they wanted. Have you lost your way, gentlemen?
Hold on, there's a plane flying by.
I said, sir.
Please be careful. I was...
Lost in my thoughts, I thought that the sirens I heard were all in my head. But then, I looked outside, and there were actually 3 police cars parked outside. 6 policemen stepped outside and knocked on... I went downstairs to see what they wanted. Have you lost your way, gentlemen? I said sarcastically. Are you Troy Rogers? One of them asked. Yes, what do you want? I asked. We've received a report that you've been illegally hypnotizing people. Are you aware that it's a crime? He said. Are you aware that it's a crime? I mocked in a whining voice. Is this boy disrespecting us? One of them said to the other. I found it extremely amusing that they didn't believe that my hypnosis skills would work on them. By the time I was finished with them, they were in my school following my every command. I asked them to lock Molly and all her friends in a classroom. I interrogated them harshly. I found out about everyone she had told and hypnotized all of them into into believing that I was the most wonderful and important person in the universe. Molly, too. Then I broke up with her just so I could break her heart. It was very satisfying. I'm not sure how I became such a monster. They say that power usually does that to people. Anyway, I was safe again, but I was back to being bored. When I got home that night, I told my dad the truth and begged him again to let me go to college. He told me I'd just need to finish the school year and that I could start applying because he was afraid I'd teach myself something else more manipulative and destructive. But until then, here's my credit card. Go buy yourself something cool and leave me alone, he said, and buried his...
Anyways, guys, that's all for today. Do not try that. Please. Have a nice day, guys. Remember to tell a friend, please subscribe, like, and share. Bye.